So, I love dogs. There was always a dog and a cat in the house where I grew up, but tonight it's about dogs. The cats is another story. The few years before I came to Japan were mostly spent in India. In India, dogs are everywhere in the streets. They don't belong to anybody and they exist and move in loose packs. From my perspective, the most intelligent ones are the beach dogs. They were born there, they will die there. You are only a temporary visitor, and sooner or later will be replaced by another biped. A bit like the street kids in Nepal or Indonesia, who, upon seeing you, are able to say a few words to you in your own language. Those dogs know who you are, and if it is safe to approach you, or if they better stay away from you. So they know right away that I am an easy mark. They will understand what you tell them they can do and cannot do. They know very quickly your life pattern, when you open your door in the morning, what habits you have, and when to be with you or go see other people when you are not available. It's enough to tell them one time not to enter the house or come on the veranda. It's a rule with all houses, but there is no harm in trying. They will lie outside waiting for the least bit of food you care to throw to them, and of course I will. They will walk with you to the beach, slash in the sand next to you, and only go when, for example, at sunset, while you are washing it, they run along the water's edge and play with the birds to the delight of all those watching. They will follow you where you go for lunch or dinner and wait patiently for their share of your meal. My first important lesson with dogs happened when I was about 6 years old. I was visiting with my mother, a friend of hers, who was a dog breeder.
Divyam, louder.
Louder?
Get closer to the mic.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
No. I was visiting with my mother, a friend of hers who was a dog breeder. She just had a new litter of tiny, lovely Pekingese. They were kept in an enclosure which was about my shoulder height. I wanted to see them from closer, of course, and hold them. So I leaned over the enclosure to take a better look at, and the mother just jumped at me and bit me on the lip. Oh, that's the first scar I have, and I'm still proud of it. Of course, I stayed away, but that didn't diminish my love for dogs. The lesson is that whatever their size, you always come to a dog from under, not from above, where he would feel threatened and will defend his territory. In any circumstance, when I see a dog I want to have a chat with, I first squat to be at his height and hold my hand out for him to smell. If he wants to be friendly, he will let you know, and if he doesn't, he will let you know as well, which must be absolutely respected. No is a valid answer to any question. So my first anecdote is about those beach dogs. With a couple of friends, we spent a week on the north shore of Oahu in Hawaii. A short walk away from the beach in one of those funky houses. There were 2 dogs in the house, behaving exactly like I described before. We became their property. It was their house, remember. They were always with us, sleeping in chairs under the table. They were armchair dogs. When we went to the beach, they accompanied us and were frolicking around while we were getting splashed by the waves. They were with us watching sunset. I even saw what I thought was a legend, the Great Flash. When the sun had set, there were a few mad surfers continuing to surf after sunset. They were operating some distance to the left of where we had watched the sun go down. So we used to walk about 15 minutes to where the show was going on. The dogs dutifully followed us, but to move away from their territory, we had to pass through other dogs' territory. Each house we passed has its own guardian angel. The dog could be pretty big, and every time we passed one, the house dog would rush to see who was trespassing. Not the humans, the dogs. And we soon understood that it was a game played everywhere, to the great joy and encouragement of the people who, too, were watching sunset and their kids riding the last waves before dinner. But they obviously knew each other, and it was always a very, very friendly and respectful encounter. Next, in India, I spent about 2 weeks in Benares, living in a houseboat on the Ganges itself, not far from the burning ghats. What a show that was. Sunrise across the river and the throngs of people coming to wash their body, offering prayers, washing their bicycle, their attaché case, everything that needed washing. The street behind the row of old houses and palaces was where all the shops were. The milkman juggling his milk to oxygenate it, the BD factory where you could see the age of Benares, where practically nothing has changed in its 3,000 years history. Restaurants, pawn shops, bracelets, flowers, etc. And of course, there were dogs. The first few times I walked the street, they were all barking at me, and I used to talk to them, squat down not to be higher than them, and holding my hand out for them to smell me. After a few days, they all knew me and let me be, and even accompany along their territory, passing me on to the next group. All very friendly, very neighborly. Benares, being a holy city, is strictly vegetarian. One night, I had a craving for meat. I thought I would find anything I was looking for around the train station, and sure enough, I found a Muslim restaurant when I had a mutton deal. I came back to the river the same way I went, through the back street. And there, to my surprise, all the dogs of all the groups did the same thing, accompanying me along their territory of the street, but they all barked at me. My smell had changed. Maybe they recognized my shape, which is probably why they didn't attack me, but my smell was not the same. Still in India, I stayed for a couple of years altogether in an ashram east of Bombay and Pune. I lived about 30 minutes walk from the ashram, where I could stay for free in a wood and bamboo pyramid. When I had a few rupees, I could take a rickshaw to go back, but they refused to take me beyond where there was no more public lighting or anybody else. That left about 10-15 minutes walks in the dark. I knew the place, so that was not a big problem, but it was dark. One night, no rupee, no rickshaw. I took the walk, and soon, when all the sidewalk shops were left behind, I entered the dark part of my walk, where I found myself surrounded by a band of about 10 dogs, not very nice looking, threatening even. I was surrounded. There was nowhere I could run or to protect myself. I did the only thing I could do to not let the fear start, knowing that they would feed on it and attack me. I squatted down, still surrounded by these very territorial dogs, and held my fearless hand to them to smell me. And just like that, the circle dissolved, and with it the tension that had started this encounter. Foot, it disappeared. And I disappeared. Thank you.
The third world dogs.